Hello vinyl record collectors. Today I like to do something a little bit different. Rather than focusing on a particular group, I want to focus on a particular style of music. And that would be referred to as like new wave music or pop synth music, new romantic, sometimes cold wave. Basically music that came out from the late 70s and through the early and mid 80s. And a lot of these groups, it was a lot to do with like big hair, big makeup, big clothes, and that's just the guys. So what I will do here is I'm just gonna go from A to Z and feature one group for each letter of the alphabet. There's a couple letters I had a lot of trouble with, particularly Q and Z, and I sort of had to substitute some musical act that's not really part of the genre of music, but sort of do the best we can. So starting with A. A is for Art of Noise, which was featured Ann Dudley on the keyboard, and she was sort of like the music producer. She's an Academy Award winner of very talented artists. Next for the B's, Blamage. Again, it's like a pop synth. It's almost a little bit dancey. Like there's quite a few. Feel Me, Blind Vision, is on this album. This is quite good. It still holds up over the course of time. If you ever see this one at a flea market or a vinyl show cheap, I would recommend picking it up and giving it a listen. It's not bad, that one. For the C's, Cabaret Voltaire. Another it's almost like electronic music group, and in my opinion, their music does not hold up to the test of time. It sounds quite dated now when I listen to their albums. At the time they came out, of course, they sounded really good. For the letter D, of course, you got Ian Dury, Sex, Drugs, and Rock and Roll, a classic. For the letter E, English Beat. This is a very good album. Again, if you can find this one at a flea market or vinyl show, I really recommend it. A couple over here are really good. Mirrors in the Bathroom, Twist and Crawl, Stand Down Margaret, which I think is recorded live. Yeah, this is really good. Here's a very interesting, for the letter F, very interesting artist, Fad Gadget. On this particular album, side 1 is sort of like your electronic new wave type style, while this side 2, the B-side, is almost more like rhythm and blues. Very versatile artist who unfortunately died fairly young due to a heart condition. That was F. For the letter G, the Gina X performance. German girl. I think she put out 4 albums, all sort of like the dance electronic stuff in the 80s. She had a lot of backing from record companies, but for whatever reason just didn't catch on, didn't have the sales that they were anticipating. Pretty good. She did some pretty good stuff. Her vocal style is sort of unique. For the letter H, one of my absolute favorites, I'll probably do a separate video on her, Nina Hagen, German punk artist. This one's still in the shrink, I think. Actually, I bought this when I was a kid. So $15 practically is the most I ever spent for a record when I was a kid. Back then, new releases were like $5. This was a German import, but incredible artist, one of my favorites. Of course, it's all in German. So that's H. For the letter I, of course, you got Billy Idol. Everybody knows Billy Idol. It was like Rebel Yell, White Wedding, lots of good stuff from him. Flesh for Fantasy on this particular album. Great artist. Alright. For the letter J, another well-known group, Japan. I would do a separate video on these guys. I think I got almost all their albums. Again, very innovative group. They did some strange stuff as well. The letter K, Killing Joke. Again, a great band. Again, this is their music is less pop synth, and this is like a much harder sound. The two on here that I really like, one was Bloodsport, I know that, and can't remember what the other one was. Now the font's pretty hard to read, but yeah, this is a great album. The letter L, a friend of Nina Hagen, Lena Rolovich. I think she's from Detroit, I can't be sure. She had a couple of hits, New Toy being one. Remember that one. And I'm not sure if there was a hit on this one. I can't remember. I know she had a couple back in the day when she was out. For M, I just chose this one. M, that's the name. Everybody probably remember that pop music. This is almost more disco than new wave or whatever, but it was a big hit on the radio in the day. The letter N, a group everybody knows. A lot of people like this group, New Order. There's not much on the back there. New Order came from Joy Division. Very good group. For the letter O, I chose Oingo Boingo. They put out quite a few albums. A couple things people may know: they did the soundtrack to Weird Science. They had one that was popular on the radio where I lived, Wild Sex in the Working Class. And I think Dead Man's Party was another popular one. That's the letter O. And the letter P, Propaganda, a German group. They're quite a good group. If you see this one in the flea market or a vinyl show, I would try and pick that up. Now, with the letter I had trouble with for this sort of new wave type music, I couldn't really find an artist, so I had to throw one group in here. So I just put in Queen. They're definitely not the new wave or anything, but it's from around the time. This came out in 1980, I think, and of course here, A Crazy Thing Called Love was a big hit on this one, but it doesn't really fit. That's the only thing I had in Q's. R, this one is a little bit wild. Red Lipstick. You don't get too much information. We got a band lineup on the back. This is an EP, but I have a feeling that a lot of the people that were actually associated with this are members of the Bullock Brothers, who you may or may not know. But this is, if you ever heard this, this is different, that's for sure. So the letter S, Shriekback. I know the one hit I know a lot of was My Spine is the bass line. They put out quite a few albums too. Very versatile, very good group. Again, if you see their albums, try and pick them up. For a group now everybody knows, I think they're in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, Talking Heads. Letter T. Their music is this one. This is one I'll probably do a separate video on. I think I've got all their records and DVDs and that. Led by David Byrne, a very versatile musician and writer. And if you see any other albums, I would recommend picking it up. For the letter U, I went with UB40. Present Arms. It's popular back in the day when they were putting out records. The letter V, and I show Visage, Fade to Gray. This is almost like more like dance, new wave type music. I think they put out another album, Nightclub School or something like that. Sort of similar, sort of a dance beat. For W, I went with Wayne Chung All Night, or whatever that big hit was. That had, again, sort of a dance, new wave electronic sound, very up-tempo, other stuff. X, or X, there's not too much you can go with it. XTC, of course. So this one has that one on there, Making Plans for Nigel, which was one of their hits. For Y, one of my favorite groups, Yellow. This is the original pressing, Ralph Records. Picked it up at the delete bin for 99 cents about 25 years ago. There's another one I'll probably feature on a separate video. I've got a lot of their stuff. And the letter Z. The letter Z, I couldn't again find any group sort of in this genre music like new wave or whatever. You can't go with ZZ Top. I mean, they're rock, and then you can't go with Frank Zappa. He's all over the place. So I figure I just one very talented, excellent musician, singer-songwriter is Warren Zevon. Of course, he had the big hit Werewolves of London. So I just have him represent the letter Z. Outstanding artist, great records he put out. Those are the records from A to Z, one for each letter of those 80s and new wave type groups. And there's one DVD I would like to show you as well. There's Slave to the Rhythm, which is, I don't know, is it tribute or sort of just a get together of people who've all worked with Trevor Horn. Trevor Horn was a producer for a lot of these groups in the 80s, and he himself was a member of the group, was it Buggles? But on this DVDs like Frankie Goes to Hollywood, Grace Jones, ABC, Pet Shop Boys, Art of Noise, Propaganda, some of the albums that I've just showed you. Very good DVD to get if you're into sort of like that 80s new wave scene there. Also, Trevor Horn worked with Yes is on there. Yes is sort of a little bit different, whereas most of those groups are sort of the new wave pop scene. And of course, Yes is more progressive rock, but Trevor Horn was associated with Yes as well. So there's a good DVD to look for if you're into the 80s new wave. So once again, thank you very much for watching, and have a great day.